Hey, let's do a quick video on assembling the two-part box. When you first take it off of the build plate, it will have the brim attached to it. You can violently rip the brim off, or if you want, you can score the brim using a razor knife to make it a little easier to come off. It's entirely up to you. You're going to want to trim off the edges of the brim either way after you attach it. If you get tired of doing that, just grab it and rip it apart. You don't have to be gentle. Tear the pieces apart and rip as much of the brim off as you can. Then you may need to still trim off some parts of the brim that remain. So you can use, for instance, the razor knife. Hold the razor knife in 4 of your fingers like this and use your thumb on the same hand to brace the part so that you can trim off the extra plastic like you're peeling an apple and you have absolute control over the blade. This is to avoid adding any blood to your workpiece. Okay, so there's always going to be a little ledge from the brim under the curved edge of your lid, and you can trim that off with the knife blade just the same. You have really fine control over it by holding the blade and the piece in the same hand. Of course, you can also sand off the brim ledge. Use a very light touch. If you press down too hard, it melts the plastic and it gets really grungy looking. So when you use the sandpaper, you're going to get a nice smooth result. If you ever want a super smooth sanding result with plastic, sand it underwater. Okay, that's ready to assemble. Now suppose we want to insert a magnet. Oh, well, looks like here's one more view of trimming off some brim. There seems to be a lot of brim on any workpiece. Okay, inside the workpiece, there's going to be these stringy little plastic sort of cotton candy. You can remove that with a torch if you like, or just kind of tear it out with a pair of needle nose pliers. When you're cutting some bamboo to use for alignment pins or a hinge, just sort of roll the bamboo underneath the knife blade like that, and then give it a little sort of bend it back and forth, and it'll snap very easily. Okay, now we're going to insert a magnet. We'll use the magnet insertion tool. It doesn't make any difference which way you insert the first magnet. Just press it down in using the tool. If the magnet is too loose, you can lead with a bit of super glue or follow with a bit of nail polish, just to sort of help the magnet stay in place. Inserting the second magnet, the one that will act as a latch for it, is more critical because magnets have polarity, and if you put the second magnet in backwards, the lid will never close. The magnets will repel each other. So just drop it onto the first magnet. That way you can't get it wrong. And then mark the insert side of the magnet using a Sharpie. And this way you can't go wrong. The Sharpie marked end of the magnet goes into the hole first. So here's the lid, and you notice that the magnet hole is a little bit grungy looking. It's got some shagginess to it. You can use the 3mm drill bit to clean it up. And then either, if it's a tight fit, that's all you need to do is press in the magnet. If it's too loose, you can put in a bit of super glue or chase it with a bit of nail polish. Remember to insert it Sharpie marked end first. That way the attracting ends of the magnet will be next to each other. And then you can put the lid in and you'll see that the magnets do a good job of holding the lid closed, even if it doesn't have the hinge pin. Okay, so let's insert the hinge pin. And here you can see me fumble with it a little bit. Let's try that again. So I'm trying to press the hinge pin in with any handy tool, maybe a sanding block. But, you know, a simpler solution would be just to press it down onto the tabletop to make sure that the pin is inserted all the way. And there's your hinge. Just as simple as that. Now to set in the alignment pins. So I have some pre-cut alignment pins, but I cut these too short. These are 20 millimeters long. They really should be 30 or even 35. So I'm going to clean up the hole openings using the 3 millimeter drill bit. And here you can roll several cuts onto a single piece. And once again, these are too short, but they're still just long enough to do the job. And I didn't feel like making new ones for this video. So just imagine these are 5 millimeters longer than they are. Now these alignment pins are in place. It'll make sure the top and bottom of the box will align perfectly. And if you want to, you can put a little super glue onto the interface edges of the top and bottom. Always use eye protection when you're working with super glue, and afterward wipe up any excess glue using a dry paper towel. So it doesn't take much, just enough to give those mating surfaces a chance to sort of bond with each other. Now we'll press this together, and if you want to hold it together for a length of time while the glue dries, you can use a little piece of tape on each side. I'm going to press these in, and later I'll put a little bit of tape on them. Okay, now inserting the penny into the drawer. It's a pretty good size for a press fit. You can press it in against the table. You can use a pair of pliers. You can use the bench vise. Any way to press it in that you want. If the penny is not tight enough to be a proper handle, you can lead with a little bit of super glue or a little bit of some other adhesive. Okay, that's not going anywhere. Okay, and inserting the magnets is still, well, you can use any of these adhesives. Keep in mind that that glue doesn't stick very well to PLA, so its main purpose is to just prevent things from sliding out. Here I'm going to secure the penny with a bit of nail polish, but if the penny was a tight fit, you don't have to do that. There, I'm putting on just a piece of tape on each side of the box to hold it in place while the glue dries. That way I can continue handling the box. Here I'm going to insert a magnet into the back of the drawer, and notice I'm inserting it from the inside of the drawer. This is the first magnet in the pair. So it is the other magnet that I will mark with the Sharpie to make sure they are in the correct polarity. You can just use the magnet insertion tool to put the second magnet into the back end of the drawer compartment, and there you have a magnetic drawer holder and a functioning, fully assembled two-part box. I hope you found building your two-part box assignment educational and enjoyable, and if you have any questions, please let me know, and we'll incorporate those questions into future versions. Thank you.